Hello, it's Spencer, Mr. Skis, whatever you want to call me. I'm making a video on the Breakout Room extension. Not to be confused with the Breakout built-in feature of Google Meet. I will touch on that at the end. But I will just say right off the bat that I personally am still a fan of the extension as opposed to using the built-in tool. So that's why I still think this is worthwhile. And I'll kind of go over the pros and cons of both at the end. But really, right off the bat here with the start, I just want to have a tutorial so that way you can jump straight into it and kind of get the hang of things. So, I'm just on Google, of course, and I simply search up the Google Breakout Room extension. Okay. And the very first thing that comes up is Google Meet Breakout Rooms. It's free. Um, if it doesn't come up first for you, it'll be one of the first few options. It's the purple icon, the purple bee. You can see I've already got it on Chrome, so I'm not going to remove it and reinstall because that would be messy for me personally. But if you don't have it installed, go ahead and click install and it'll download. Once you've downloaded the extension, most extensions won't work until you've closed Chrome and opened it back up. So once you've installed it, the download has finished, close Chrome and open it back up. Okay? So now you've opened Chrome back up. Maybe you're on your new tab like so. Okay? So you might have, so up here at the top, you can see my mouse moving right above my webcam. You might have, your extensions might be listed there. You just might have the little puzzle piece. You might see the purple bee right there. You could go ahead and click on that. I don't have them all listed here, okay? So I have to click on that little puzzle piece, and then I can click on Google Meet Breakout Rooms. It's one of the few, oh, it's right behind my webcam. That's funny. It's right behind me, though. I'm not going to bother moving my webcam. It's right behind me. It says Google Meet Breakout Rooms. And I click it. And it opens up this box. Okay? It will open up in this as a narrow box, like so. It's not this like full screen thing. It's just this little tab. And so the first place I want to get started with you, because I already use it, right? So there's some things that I've already filled in, but the first place I want to get started with you is making a course. I believe it defaulted to my classroom in my own course, but if you ever wanted to make separate ones for your different subjects or something like that, you might want to come in here and make a second course. So you can see here I was playing around with making a second course. Let me go ahead and make a third course. So you've got your four options: Meet, Rooms, Courses, Settings. So I'm going to choose Courses and hit the plus button. And I'm going to make a third course. And this is my video course, right? I'm making this course for my video, and there's a nice little reminder here that says changes have not yet saved. You need to click the blue save button after you've named and described your course. Save. All right, awesome. So you can make as many courses as you want. I highly doubt that there's a limit. And then when you go to Rooms, you can start to make your breakout rooms. So right now I'm in the second course. I can go to my classroom and you can see I've created 10 breakout rooms. And then I'm going to choose the third course. So I went from courses to rooms and I'm choosing the course that I want. And here's where I start to make some stuff. So this defaults to the name main because you need to have at least one main room. So some of you might be using a link that's been the same all year for your course. If that's true, you could manually paste that link right here if you want to stick with that link. Or you could let the Google Meets, or you could let this breakout extension make you a new one. Those of you who have been using the same link, you probably made it using your calendar, right? Because the calendar preserves the link forever, right? I think you might remember that discussion at the beginning of the year about how to make a link last forever. Well, this extension, I don't know how it does it, but it makes a link last forever. It will be the same links every time. I'm not sure how it's doing it, but it does it. But if you want to keep the same link, you can paste it right there. I'm not going to paste one because I don't have another link to use right now. So I'm just going to let it make up its own. And then from here, you can decide, like, maybe you have a class of 40 and you want like eight groups of 5 or 5 groups of 8 or whatever you want to do. Just add, and you can name the room whatever you want. I think it's simple enough just to go breakout 1, breakout 2. I'm hitting the plus button here, clicking into the blocks, breakout 3, hitting the plus button here, hitting into the box, breakout 4. And when I click save, check this out. Boom, it just populated it with a bunch of Google Meet links. So we have now made our course. There's a main room and there are breakouts for students to go to. Okay? So how do you use this? Okay? So I could imagine, like, when I say how, right? Like, how do you put it? How do you make this useful in your classroom? So I can imagine a couple of different ways you'd want to go about it. I'll tell you what I do, okay, first, and then I can maybe brainstorm with you. So this is the main page of the extension when you open it up. And there's this space down here that says start class. Let's say I want the main room and 3 breakout rooms, right? I don't want like a whole bunch. I just want 3 breakout rooms. So I'm going to say, I don't want to open all 4 because I made 4, right? But I only want to do 3, okay? This is basically how I start my class every day. As I click, this says open/sync main room. This says open/sync breakouts, and this says open/sync both. So what this is going to do is it's going to open, when I click this button, it's going to open the main room where students kind of go to class and the other 3 breakout rooms all at the same time. Check this out. Boom, 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 boom. It opens up in this quad pattern. So there are 4 active Google Meet rooms right now at this moment, right? This one right here, the first one that opened, is the main room. So this would be where all the students come flooding in, right? And then these 3 breakout rooms aren't going to have anybody in it until, you break out, right? So how do you break out? Well, this is where the extension isn't perfect. You can't force a kid into a breakout room. It's not possible, okay, with this extension. It's not possible to force them into it. But how do they gain access? Well, this is, like I said, I'm going to tell you what I do. If you go to Assign Breakouts Pre-Assigned, right here, you can click here to copy the breakout rooms, and these are the 3 links that were just generated. It's a nice, easy way to copy, and I go and I click it, and they just got copied. And this is what I say to class. I go, all right, guys, let's split up into our breakout rooms, and I'm going to go ahead and post those links in the chat. I just hit Control-V and paste. Boom. And they can all click those links, and they get shot off into that breakout room, and they're there. Right? I'm there as well, right? I'm in all 4 of them. You can see me, right? I can talk in this one if I wanted to. You can see my mic lighting up there. I can go talk in this one down here, blah, 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 right? I can go talk in this one down here. I can travel between all of them. They're all open at the same time, and I can just go wherever I please. Something that's nice with the breakout extension that I just thought of offhand is that you can mute a room, right? This button is not there on your screen right now if you don't have this extension. You've never been able to mute the room, right? You just have to mute your entire computer, right? When there's want to mute my entire computer, right? And I don't want to mute kids, right? Because they need to talk. So I'm going to mute this room so that way I can focus my attention on these two rooms and listen to their conversations. Or maybe everyone's just talking like crazy and I only want to talk to Breakout Room 3 here. Then I'm just going to mute everyone and just focus all my attention on these guys right here. Okay? My webcam's not working here because I'm using it right here. So, I can focus all my attention on that room and have those muted. So that's kind of the flow. I personally am not a stickler about the breakout rooms that they go to. There is a way, and I haven't worked with it too much, of assigning breakouts to kids. The number one easiest method that I can think would be that you've assigned kids their breakouts and they just know their number and they just go to that, right? Instead of like forcing this, because what this extension will do is once people are in the room, you can click, so it's kind of hard to simulate with no one in the room. You can click assign breakouts, and then the students that are in the room will show up here, and then you can click here to assign them to a room. But what does that even mean, to assign them to a room? All it's going to do is randomly say, all right, for breakout room 1, we want Claire, Ashley, and Jim. Okay, that's all it's going to say. It's just going to give a typed list in the chat. It's really nothing profound, right? The kids still have to go click on the link and yada yada. You could just assign them out loud. They could have pre-assigned things that they just know. I hope you see what I'm getting at, right? It's really not like this, like, oh wow, I'm missing out on such a key feature. It's just typed in the chat, right? Oh, please go to this room. So it's not that impressive the way it assigns. What's most impressive is that it opens all of them up at once, like so, and you can bounce back and forth, right? I've been talking in breakout room 3 here the whole time. Boom, bounce over here. Now I'm talking to these guys over here. Boom, now I'm talking to these guys up here, right? So that's the best feature of it all. And also, it just makes it nice to open all. It's not there's nothing like too insane happening here, right? It's not like we're not reinventing the wheel too much. It's just 4 Google Meet links, but it's just very efficient. And you can see here, I love this one, right? If I want to talk to everyone at the same time, as opposed to going here and clicking all of them, I just go like this. Look at that. You see that? Boom, it turned on. Boom, it turned on over here. Boom, it turned on over here. I'm talking in every room now, and then I can quickly mute myself. I can turn the volume on for every room, right? They're all green, 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 and green over here. I can, boom, mute all of them all at the same time. So I do not use this feature right here. What this is you can see I'm talking in the main room right here. I can click this arrow. It mutes me, shuts me off over here, and now I'm talking in breakout room 1. And then boom, I'm talking in breakout room 2, and then boom, I'm talking in breakout room 3. You might think, well, that's nice, right? Like, oh, I can kind of migrate my way through. It's nice, but it's like, what if I want to jump back to breakout room 2? Now I'm going like, oh, I'm there and then I'm gone, and then I'm there and then I'm gone, right? It's I don't know. It's simple enough for me to just go mute, and then come up here, right, and start talking to that. I mean, I don't know. It's just a preference thing, but that's what this toggle does here. It just switches you from room to room, which can be nice, can not be nice. It's up to you. Now my camera again is not going to work because it's being used right now, so that's why that's not showing up. So yeah, I had a list of things that I wanted to go over. I think I've given you everything you would need to know to make this work. I think you would be able to jump right into it, right? Again, that recap super quick was make a course, populate that course with rooms, and then open them up. I mean, I'm not trying to make this video too long. It's already 15 minutes. How have I talked for 15 minutes? I'm sorry. Um, uh, some of you have used nicknames for your classrooms. Some of you have used nicknames. As far as I know, this says nickname, code, or URL. So I suppose you could type your nickname for your room here, and it should work. I've never used it. I've never made a nickname for a course, right? So that might work. You can click this help button here. What does it say? A nickname is a user-defined shortcut to call up a meet. Nicknames are specific to an organization. An example of a nickname is the teacher's name followed by the class, such as blah, blah, blah. You may enter any value in the link field as your nickname, but please enter the nickname itself and do not include any prefix, such as g.co/meet or meet.google.com/lookup. Okay, so there you go. You could just type your nickname right there. We answered that question together. Awesome. So that's nice. You can use your nickname. How would I compare this to the Google Meet breakouts? Better. Why is it better? Well, one of the most fantastic things that's great about having all the links open is that if they're using the chat, you can see the chat of everything, right? All at once. They can essentially raise their hand by typing a message in this chat. And you'll see it, and you can go to that room. Like, hey, Mr. Skis, I'm over here in Breakout Room 2. Will you come help me? Yes, I will, right? Boom, jumps into that room. So that's pretty nice. And so how does that compare to the Breakout Rooms? You don't see those rooms until you enter the room, right? When you do this, I don't want to click this because it's gonna like freak out, but it opens those rooms, right? It generates them, but they're not all open on your screen. And when you start migrating, unless someone's got it figured out, and I don't understand, but when you're migrating from breakout room to breakout room, when you leave that room, that chat has dissolved. You can't see that chat anymore, right? And when you enter a new breakout room, right, as you're going and talking to your students, you don't know what was typed in the chat before, right? I think about your students when they enter your room third period. They don't know what anyone typed in the chat first period. It's not like they can see all that, right? They have no clue what happened beforehand. Well, you have no clue what happened before you enter their breakout room, right? Because the chat is refreshed and new for you that's the way the breakout rooms extension works, is that it's like all it is changing the link at the top, right? It's just, instead of opening them all at once, it's happening all within one browser. And I don't know, in my opinion, that's pretty limiting. If I close all these, I can maybe show you here. Breakout rooms, if I make 2 and I open the rooms, they're open. Breakout rooms are in session. I can join this breakout room 1, and look, it's literally just taking me into a new link right up here at the top. It's just a fresh link. I have no idea what happened in the chat before this, right? This is a completely fresh chat. I can't see anything. So that's my biggest gripe. Yeah. So I'm almost to the 20-minute mark. So sorry, talking up a storm, but pros of this extension, you can have students talk in group sessions as opposed to all at once, right? They can be more private conversations. You can talk just to a few students as opposed to all students, right? Why do we talk to students individually in our classroom, right? You know how effective that can be. A breakout room can allow you to be that effective even digitally, right? If you want to talk one-on-one, if you got a group of students that you all know made the same mistake and you just want to talk to them all at once, you don't have to. You could just say, hey, Jeremy, Ashley, and Alyssa, can you join this link real quick? And you just paste it in the chat, right? You just paste one breakout link, right? Just open one, right? It's not to be something that you're using constantly. It could just be this side tool that you just go, I'm going to open up one link and allow a student. What about when you send a kid to another room to take a test, right? Because you don't want them listening to you, right? You don't want them to have that advantage. Just open up a breakout room, right? Tell them, I want to see you in this room while you're taking the quiz. Maybe you don't want them to just leave class, right? I want to see you in this breakout room. You can have that open in the background. They could type in the chat and ask you a question. It wouldn't be in the main chat. It would be separate, right? Another great pro. I'm sure you can think of all kinds of different possibilities that you can just do with one little link, right? But then, you open up a whole thing with multiple links, right? You can go in and out, and the kids can be in groups and yada, yada, yada. It can be good. The cons, your computer might not be able to handle it. I think that's the biggest con of having all 4, 5, 6 breakout rooms open, is that your computer might get a little bogged down. I built a computer right before COVID hit at the beginning of March that cost me a pretty penny, and it can handle a lot, right? But I mean, there are kids who open up 2 Google Meet links, and they're telling me they're having issues, right? There are teachers opening up 2 Google Meet links, and they're saying they're having issues, right? There's clearly a bit of a technological gap there. So if you find yourself in that situation, that is where the breakouts within Google Meet is actually gonna work for you, because it's one tab with one link, right? And that's all it takes. One tab, one link, and you're going in and out, right? So you're not having to have them all open. So yeah. That's what I got. If anyone has any questions, right? I mean, number 1, feel free to rewind. And number 2, feel free to email me. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. I hope some of us use the breakouts. Have a good one.